It was just another busy afternoon at the small downtown diner, the kind of place that had regulars who came in every day, exchanging stories over coffee and breakfast. Shante, a dedicated black waitress, had been working at the diner for nearly 5 years. The kitchen smelled of sizzling bacon, fresh eggs, and the comforting aroma of strong coffee brewing in the corner. The clink of silverware and the hum of conversation were all part of the diner's familiar atmosphere, and Shante was right at home in it. As a waitress, Shante had seen it all: friendly banter, annoyed customers, awkward silences, but she handled every situation with grace. Her routine was simple, but she was proud of her job. The work wasn't glamorous, but it allowed her to support her family and keep food on the table. She treated every customer the same, no matter their background or status. Her colleagues admired her patience and professionalism, always going the extra mile to make sure everyone had a pleasant experience. That afternoon, as the lunch rush began, the diner was packed with customers. Groups of friends laughed over plates of pancakes, while businessmen in suits discussed deals between bites of their sandwiches. Shante moved quickly between tables, refilling drinks and taking orders, her smile never fading, even as the pace picked up. She had learned to navigate the chaos without breaking a sweat. Outside, the weather was crisp, the streets buzzing with the usual noise of city life. But inside, the atmosphere was comfortable, even familiar, until the door swung open and the bell above it jingled, signaling the arrival of a new customer. At first, no one took much notice. The diner had seen plenty of newcomers come and go. But then, the crowd went silent as the man entered, followed by a small entourage. It wasn't just any customer. It was Donald Trump, the former president known for his larger-than-life personality and polarizing presence. Whispers began to ripple through the crowd. Some patrons shifted uncomfortably in their seats, while others stared openly, as if trying to process the surreal moment. For Shante, who was midway through balancing plates of burgers and fries on her tray, it was just another customer. Famous or not, her job was to serve. With the same calm professionalism she applied to everyone, she approached Trump's table. "Good afternoon, sir. Welcome," she said with a polite smile, handing him a menu. Trump glanced up, his expression neutral but observant. "Steak and eggs," he said decisively, not bothering to consult the menu. His voice carried a confidence that matched his reputation. "Right away, sir," Shante replied, jotting down the order. She returned to the kitchen, feeling the weight of the eyes that followed her every step. As she worked, the tension in the diner grew thicker. Some customers muttered disapprovingly, their disdain for Trump evident in their hushed voices. Others seemed too intimidated to speak, stealing only cautious glances at the man who had become one of the most polarizing figures in recent history. Shante, however, remained undeterred. She brought the food to Trump's table with the same courteous demeanor she offered to all her customers. "Here you go, sir. Is there anything else I can get for you?" Trump looked up briefly, his expression softening. "No, this is perfect. Thank you," he said. It was a simple exchange, but his tone carried an air of sincerity that surprised even her. Throughout the meal, Shante checked on his table, refilling his drink and ensuring everything was to his liking. Trump, for his part, seemed to take note of her attentiveness, occasionally offering a nod of approval. He finished his meal, left a generous tip on the table, far exceeding the norm, and said, "You're very good at what you do." "Thank you, sir," Shante replied, her smile widening. She felt a small swell of pride in the recognition, but she didn't linger. There were other tables to tend to. As Trump exited the diner, the tension among the patrons didn't dissipate. If anything, it intensified. Conversations grew louder and several regulars began to express their discomfort. Some spoke openly to the diner's management, criticizing the decision to serve Trump. They claimed it went against their values and threatened to stop patronizing the diner altogether if no action was taken. The next day, Shante arrived at work, ready to start another shift, unaware of the storm brewing behind the scenes. Her boss called her into the back office, his face tight with discomfort. "Shante, we need to talk," he said, motioning for her to sit down. Her heart sank as she noticed the tension in his voice. "What's wrong?" she asked cautiously. "We've had some complaints," he began, his words heavy with hesitation. "After Trump came in yesterday, a few regular customers, well, they weren't happy. They said they felt uncomfortable and that they don't want to come back if we continue to serve people like him." Shantae's eyebrows shot up in disbelief. "I was just doing my job. I treated him the same as I treat everyone else." "I know that, and I agree," her boss said, sighing deeply. "But these customers are threatening to stop coming here, and I can't afford that. The diner relies on them to keep things running." The weight of his words hit Shantae like a punch to the stomach. "So, what does that mean for me?" He looked away, unable to meet her eyes. "I'm sorry, Shantae. I have to let you go." The room seemed to spin as the reality of the situation sunk in. She had been fired for simply doing her job, for treating a customer, any customer, with respect. Tears welled up in her eyes, but she held her head high. Without another word, she left the diner, her heart heavy with betrayal. The following day was one that would go down in history. Donald Trump had officially won the election. The news dominated every channel, with reporters analyzing his unexpected victory and its implications. For most, it was a day of celebration or disappointment, depending on where their loyalties lay. But for Shantae, it was just another day of grappling with the unfairness of losing her job. As she sat in her modest apartment, scrolling through the endless headlines, she couldn't shake the memory of her encounter with Trump. She hadn't thought much of it at the time, just another customer, albeit a high-profile one. But now her life had been turned upside down because of it. Unbeknownst to Shantae, her story had reached Donald Trump himself. While watching coverage of his election win, someone in his team mentioned the incident at the diner, where a waitress had been fired after serving him. Trump was immediately intrigued. He asked his staff to gather more details, and what he learned left him both angry and determined to act. The very next morning, Shantae received an unexpected knock at her door. Standing outside was a man in a sharp suit, holding an envelope embossed with the Trump Organization logo. "Miss Shantae, I'm here on behalf of Mr. Trump," he said with a professional yet friendly tone. Her heart raced as she took the envelope, unsure of what to expect. Inside was a personal letter from Trump himself. In it, he expressed his outrage at the way she had been treated and assured her that he would not let the injustice stand. But the letter wasn't all. There was also an invitation. Trump wanted Shantae to join the team at one of his luxury resorts as a VIP hostess. The position came with a significant salary, full benefits, and the chance to work in an environment where her skills would be truly appreciated. But that wasn't all. The letter ended with a shocking declaration. "I intend to personally address the diner's management. No one should lose their job for doing what's right." True to his word, Trump didn't stop at offering Shantae a new job. He made it his mission to confront the diner's owner directly. Using his influence and platform, he called the owner and demanded an explanation. The conversation was brief, but powerful. Trump made it clear that their actions were not only unethical, but also unacceptable. "I hope you understand the mistake you've made," Trump said firmly, "and I'll make sure the world knows about it if you don't take accountability." The diner's management, now under intense public scrutiny, scrambled to issue an apology, but the damage was already done. Trump went a step further. He purchased the diner outright, rebranding it and ensuring that its staff and culture reflected fairness and professionalism. For Shantae, life had taken a 180-degree turn. She accepted Trump's offer and quickly became one of the most respected employees at his resort. With her new position, she gained financial stability and an entirely new chapter of opportunity. What's more, Trump's actions made headlines, turning Shantae into a symbol of resilience and justice. When she was invited to meet Trump at a formal event a few weeks later, he greeted her warmly and said, "You didn't deserve what happened to you. It's people like you who represent the best of this country, hardworking, honest, and kind. I'm just glad I could help." From losing her job to gaining a life-changing opportunity, Shantae's journey was nothing short of extraordinary. Her story became a powerful reminder that sometimes life's greatest setbacks can lead to its most incredible transformations.